It's a terrible football show, all right?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Come on, Shane. OH. OH.
Oh, baby, yeah. Shane, I swear to God.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you could thoroughly kiss my ass.
Why not let us decide the top four?
Yeah, let a terrible football show
Let a terrible
decide the top
football
four.
show.
Fuck you, Shane.
Roll Tide. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, you gotta go. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
I like that Baker Mayfield to myself, man. He was baking up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So
Get that right. I will fly you out and take you to a game in Dallas of your fucking choice.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? It's a terrible football show after all. Welcome to the Terrible Football Show, episode DeMarcus Ware, episode 94. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today. Whatever day you're watching this, you're watching it live, watching that fact, listen to that fact, no matter what, we appreciate the hell out of you. We got Ricky here. Ricky, how you doing on DeMarcus Ware Day?
great, great former Dallas Cowboy. I think he's
Hall
a
of Famer.
Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer. Should be all that good stuff. So yeah, that's a good day today. Beautiful day. It's been a real beautiful. Last couple of days been real beautiful outside, and I know yesterday we reached past 70 down here. I don't know if it reached past
same
70
here.
up there or not, but it was a pretty warm day yesterday.
Yep. Rick and I chat for a little bit on the phone yesterday, and Ricky's just like, man, it's too beautiful day to be at work. And I'm just like, haha, joke's on you. I get to be outside. So I got to enjoy the weather. It is beautiful weather going on right now, which is nice compared to the shitty weather we just recently had. So, but it's a beautiful weather day for a beautiful episode of a terrible football show. The Super Bowl is set. It's the Super Bowl no one wanted, but it's still going to be a good game. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. But it's the game that no one wanted. Anyway, so we'll kind of talk about our thoughts on the championship games. We do have mock drafts 1.0s. So looking forward to mock draft season. It's going to be fantastic. Love some mock drafts. Love predicting everything horribly wrong. It's going to be great. Can't wait. But what I also can't wait for is for you to go down to the link below and pick up some Rogue Energy with promo code Sparky30 to get 10% off your order. It's delicious. And also buy a jersey because they're great. I don't have mine on right now. I'm still wearing my work clothes because I literally just got home not long ago. I was watching the PlayStation State of Play, which was awesome, by the way. So I just kind of came out here, still in work clothes. We're going at it. It's time to go to work with ATFS. Join the Discord as well. You can come chat with us. It'll be a great time, I promise. Let's turn down the music. Let's start getting into stuff. We've had a lot of news in these past few days. Before we jump into the championship, shout out to the Bears hiring Thomas Brown, former Panthers OC. He just kind of got forced to kind of put in the OC spot. I know the Panthers weren't that great, but him being brought in as a passing game coordinator. This is a guy who got NFL head coaching interviews, OC interviews, and it's a guy that's just like, he's someone you want on your staff. In 1 year of being in Sean McVay's system, he immediately got promoted to assistant head coach over in LA. You know what I mean? Like he's a leader. This is the kind of guy that we need on the staff. So really pumped up about this hire to add on to the offensive staff, the great offensive staff that we've built. So that's great. Seattle's got their head coach, Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Falcons got their head coach, Raheem Morris. I don't know if we chatted about that last week. And then Carolina got their head coach as well, Dave Cannells, the OC from Tampa Bay. I think the last job left is Washington, right?
I do believe so. I believe you are correct.
Which, big shock, Ben Johnson, OC of Detroit Lions, coming back to the Lions for unfinished business. Apparently the reports are, which I was seeing these reports probably about 6 weeks ago. So if I saw it 6 weeks ago and now they're resurfacing, kind of tells me they were probably true. Apparently he was just asking for an ungodly amount of money to be a HC. You know what I mean? Like that was the report about 6 to 8 weeks ago, and now reports are coming back out. now that he's turned down jobs from Seattle and Washington. He also said, apparently the reports are he just wants to win a Super Bowl. So that kind of indicates he doesn't think he can win one in one of those locations, which is definitely fair for Washington.
You got to have. I mean, yeah, you got to have some kind of financial security, though, especially if you go to somewhere like Seattle and Washington, who were
at
literally
least Washington,
at the bottom of the league. Who were do what now?
At least Washington, Seattle, they weren't too bad. They have a good foundation. You know what I mean? But Washington, different story.
But both teams were dead last and next to last with as far as defensive rating goes last year. So they were both pretty bad as far as the defensive side goes. You do have more of a chance of winning if you wanted to win a Super Bowl now or compete right now, Seattle would be the place. The only issue is, Alex, LA is probably going to get better next year now that they have a year underneath these new guys that are around Matt Stafford, and considering the fact that they were a point shy of beating the Detroit Lions, they're possibly going to be pretty good again next year. San Francisco's not going to go anywhere. So where's that going to leave Seattle? I mean, not everybody can win in that division. So I mean, they're almost in the same. They're in the same boat that Washington's in. Washington is nowhere near ready to make a division run, even with Philly's struggles, even with the Cowboys' postseason struggles. They're not ready for that next level yet. It's not even close.
Yeah, and honestly, man, even though I'm obviously a Chicago Bears fan, seeing this news, I'm so pumped for Detroit. You know what I mean? Because I just want to see Detroit succeed. They were so close, so damn close. So for them to get a very key piece back with Ben Johnson, hey man, I'm happy for Lions fans, guys. Like I really am. They're like, that's awesome. I want to see the Lions succeed. It's a beautiful thing to see the turnaround for this team. And with that, let's jump right into it. Let's jump into the championship games, the NFC championship game. Detroit blew a big lead, man, 17 points up going into the second half. There was a lot of questionable calls in that second half of going for it and stuff. But, the thing is, that's just how this Detroit Lions team plays. That's how Dan Campbell plays. And I know there's a side of it of, you can't always go for it. Sometimes you got to make the call, just kick the field goal, whatever. That could have been 6 more points that they had. But you know what, man? That's what me and you are saying as people that are not fans of the Detroit Lions. The reception that I have seen from Detroit Lions fans is they are totally okay with what happened. Because while those calls could have maybe put them in a better position, those calls is what is this Detroit Lions team that got them there. To make the Lions relevant, being gutsy, carrying a wheelbarrow around in front of you all times. That's what made this team this team. So, honestly, man, I have seen very little negativity from Lions fans. At least that I've seen on my timeline. Everyone's just like, hey, it sucks that we went out that way, but you know what? We're relevant again. We are relevant, and we are relevant because of Dan Campbell. We are relevant because of this gutsy play calling. We are relevant because we carry a wheelbarrow around in front of us at all times and go for it on ridiculous situations. That works, and it's part of the game. So that's been the interesting thing for me this week is seeing the media and seeing non-Detroit Lions fans rip this man apart, and I totally understand why. But it's just it's real interesting to see the Lions fans react to it, where it's just like, this sucks. But you know what? Hey, I still trust this man 100% because he got us to where we are. He made us relevant. So that's been the interesting thing for me. What about you? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on everything I just kind of talked about with the Lions fans and kind of how they're feeling about it?
I mean, they should feel good about it. I mean, it gives them some kind of hope, and they haven't had hope in forever.
True.
And so, I mean, and that's usually something that good that comes from a football program, which, like I've said many times on the show, the Detroit Lions for many years are the Vanderbilt of the NFL.
Yeah.
They're irrelevant. They have not made any good drafts. They haven't made any good trades. All of a sudden, the last 4 or 5 seasons, you started to see this Detroit Lions program start to slowly build up to what they are now. A lot of people scratch their head whenever they got rid of Matt Stafford for Jared Goff because everybody's like, well, Matt Stafford going to LA, he went to Super Bowl in LA. Oh, great. They made the right choice by doing that. Where at the same time, Jared Goff is still trying to build. And then all of a sudden, it just took a few more draft picks, a few more years of development. They took their time, they were patient, and now they've got a very, very good a very good program. They've got a defensive player named Aiden Hutchinson, who is a fantastic player. You've got several key
Still
players,
mad
and
at Jacksonville.
should I mention a rookie? Should I mention a rookie named Jahmyr Gibbs,
Yep.
who I wish I was drafted with the Dallas Cowboys. Please let me draft with the Dallas Cowboys, please. Because I said it last year. If you don't get I can't remember the other guy's name on the top of my head. If you don't get him, get Jahmyr Gibbs. And what did they do? They got Mozzie. Anyways, now they're into my Dallas Cowboy rant. But I hate that they got put in that situation where
It opens the media to
I just
trash
hate
them.
they got exactly, and the
Mhm.
media just needs to shut up on this. Celebrate the fact that we're celebrating the Detroit line. Let these people celebrate, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with them. I have no problem with the gutsy play calls. I have no problem with them going for it on fourth down. I have no problem with any of that, because here's the thing. He's in a situation where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
Guess what happens if they win that ball game? He gets a lot of praise from the media. Oh, good gutsy call, going for it on fourth down. But since he lost, oh, you shouldn't have gone for it. So it's like, make up your damn mind already. I'm still rooting for the Detroit Lions team. And next season, I don't know if they're going to win the division as easy as they won it this year. I've got to see, what moves is Green Bay going to try to make to surround Jordan Love. We know Jordan Love has had very good success as of late, and he's just going to get even better. We got to see what Minnesota's going to do with Kirk Cousins, because we saw, Kirk Cousins playing quarterback. They won. I mean, they were starting to come back. They were starting to win. So we got to see what moves they're going to make. But I still think that this Detroit Lions program, this team with Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson is their OC, I think they can come back and try it again next year. And there's no harm, no foul on it. I think they're at least gonna compete next year.
100%. Because another important thing to note in all this is not only did they get Ben Johnson back, they got Aaron Glenn back, defense coordinator, who was also getting HC interviews as well. So, I mean, you're bringing the whole band back together. You know what I mean? Now you just need some good free agency moves. You need some good drafting, which honestly they've proven they can do. I mean, like they've been nailing it. I mean, past 2 years alone, right? They have nailed it on their first round draft picks. Okay, like year before, Penei Sewell and Jameson Williams. Okay, nailed it on both. This past year, everyone shit on them for these picks because of the positioning of the picks. Like you're saying, Jamar Gibbs and stuff, great pickup there. But like, let's be honest, I think everyone was shocked that he got drafted at 12. And then they draft Jack Campbell, who I loved so much. And I even had him as a first round grade. And they draft him at 18? No one saw that coming, right? But the thing is, it's so great about their drafting approach. They are drafting guys that they just like and fit their system. So honestly, spoiler alert, every single prediction that we're going to make for mock drafts this whole mock draft season, in my opinion, Lions are going to be the hardest one to predict. They are going to be the hardest one to predict. Because I was looking at mine earlier. I feel good about my pick for him, and I feel like this is the player they're going to look at. But man, it's just God bless, they could look at so many players that would go early third and end up being a superstar.
Yep, I agree.
No, I mean, it is a damned if you don't, damned if you do kind of thing. I mean, because it's the same thing. The only time that I fully will stand my ground and all right, you probably should have kicked the field goal was against your Cowboys when they made the 2-point, right? Got penalized and then got moved back even further back and still went for it. That was a case where I probably would after the penalty, you know what I mean? I probably would have kicked the field goal and tied it. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the only one. The ones they did this game, one of the things that I came across is people talking. It's if we would have kicked the field goals and still somehow lost, I understand point wise we would have technically been ahead, but if we would have lost, I would have felt worse about that than how I feel now of the fact that at least we're consistent in our play calling and going for it. Which that's also some things that I've come across. That's one thing players love is they just love a coach that's going to be consistent. He's going to stay the same. That's Dan Campbell, man. So I mean, it does suck for the Lions. You hate to see it, but at the end of the day, it's just Yeah, I mean, they collapsed in the second half. The defense collapsed. I mean, like, you can blame it on those calls all you want, but this is a team game. You know, there's two sides to it. Defense collapsed, and the offense couldn't get the job done either in the second. It's a team game, guys. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's funny. One random example. Now, granted, I think everyone on planet Earth that watches football can agree it was a massive blown call. But it's like, you know, I saw like the little interview with like Barstool and Jared Goff earlier this year where they talked about bad calls, and they talked about the NFC Championship game, Rams Saints, and they asked Jared, would he ever apologize to Saints fans? He's like, oh no, absolutely not. And he was joking. He's like, I mean, was it called pass interference? No, it wasn't pass interference. You know, just memeing about it. But his argument also, which is a very fair argument, they had a chance to score in overtime. They didn't score.
They did.
You know, so I mean, it's the same thing here. It's like, while they could have kicked field goals here, at the same time, the defense didn't stop the 49ers. It's a team game. So sucks the Lions. I mean, kudos to the 49ers. Kudos to Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, the game manager. That conversation's gotten real loud. Kudos to him. He's setting himself up for a very, very large contract. So happy to see on that front. But yeah, NFC Championship game, great game. Just hate to see how it ended. I was very upset watching it. I felt the pain for the Lions, man. I did. And then over on the other side, AFC Championship, Chiefs come out on top over the Ravens, man. Ravens just didn't show up. It's that simple. Did not show up.
No. And I was, and that's the thing. I was surprised, there was only 3 points scored in the entire second half. It was a defensive juggernaut, which is something I love. I love defensive juggernaut games. One of my favorite defensive games that I've actually seen in person was, oh gosh, what year was that? I think it was 2013. Maybe 2014. It was one of the years that Alabama came to Arkansas. I'd have to look it up. The final score was 14-13 Alabama, and the biggest reason Alabama won was because we miffed an extra point like badly. Like the holder didn't even catch the ball. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then of course that game we trying to remember who their receiver was that year. Big time receiver that Alabama had. We held him to 2 catches the entire game, and I'll remember the receiver here in a little bit.
But
because he like the big time receiver. What?
Is it Calvin?
No, it wasn't Calvin. It wasn't Calvin. It's further back than Calvin.
Okay.
And so further back than Calvin. Damn, what was his name? I'll get here in a little bit. But I mean, either way though, but it's like I love these defensive juggernaut games. And this right here though, it just proves to the fact that the Chiefs do not have to necessarily rely on their offense to score. And their defense has really, really stepped up in this postseason. I mean, it's so interesting because I, like many people, wrote the Chiefs off this year. I said there's just something wrong with this team. Something's not clicking with this team. Too many drop passes throughout the season. At times, I mean, you look at some of the teams they lost to. They lost to the Denver Broncos. They lost to the Vegas Raiders. Terrible teams that you would think, hey, I mean, I understand it's the NFL. Nothing surprised me, the NFL. But you get my thing. They were so inconsistent up and down this year that I didn't think they had a Super Bowl run in them, and here they are. They proved me wrong once again. So, shout out to that. But I hate it probably more for Lamar Jackson than I do anyone, because the fact is that Lamar Jackson, he's probably going to win the MVP, and well-deservedly so, but he still can't get past that grip in the playoffs. He has one, maybe 2 playoff wins in his entire career so far, and that's not what you want to be remembered for.
Yeah, and I just pulled up odds for MVP favorite, and Lamar is still leading. Honestly, I thought that was going to change after that game. I really did. I thought we were going to see a big shift, but it's still like minus 8,000 that Lamar is going to win it. It's like, God, I would make that a little bit lower in my opinion. I feel like there are some other candidates to consider in my mind. But I will say, in terms of that game, I mean, like, I hate it for Lamar too, because it's like, it's the narrative, it's the same narrative about Lamar Jackson that he just can't get it done. He's got this big contract, and it's like, it sucks for the Ravens because starting next year, things are going to get very tough with them from a contractual standpoint. You know, like because that's when his contract that he signed is going to really start to impact the team's salary cap. So it's like going forward, it's like it's just going to get tougher and tougher for the Ravens to really compete and bring talent in. And when
that's any team though. That's any team
is.
with quarterback situation because they're paying the quarterbacks most of the cap.
Yeah, that's why so many teams want to try to capitalize as much as they can on these rookie deals, like what the 49ers are doing, making trades for like a Chase Young and stuff like that, while you still have Brock on a cheap deal. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, his contract's coming up, but I mean, like, you surround him with talent while you can before the big hit of a quarter. Because I mean, we see what quarterbacks are going for. Look what Daniel Jones signed. He doesn't deserve that, but it's the market. You know what I mean? It's the market of quarterbacks. I mean, that's the state that we're in with QBs and salary caps right now. And honestly, and we'll chat about this in a bit when we get to our mock drafts. That's the issue that the Bears are facing of keep Justin or draft Caleb. Is like if you keep Justin, you're gonna have to sign him. And we see what. And the thing is, let's agree on something. If the Bears signed Fields, you cannot pay him lower than Daniel Jones. Are we in agreement on that?
No.
Like you just can't.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. Daniel Jones has been in the playoffs. Daniel Jones has actually shown very good success in New York.
I disagree with that. Look, I disagree with you on that.
Hang on though. Hang on though. Daniel Jones has shown decent success in New York, with the exception of this past season. This past season was the worst. I think he got injured toward the end of the year anyway. But I'm just telling, in general, that entire organization is in a dumpster fire. Worse off right now than what the Chicago Bears are.
Whoa!
Way worse off than what the Chicago Bears are.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. You don't go from a team who was competing in the NFC East, because they were one of the three contenders last year. You remember last season, it was Philly, Dallas, then it was New York. They were very, very competitive in the East last year, and they were one of three teams that made the playoffs last year. No, Daniel Jones has shown very, very decent success, and yes, I understand that he may not look the part or whatever it is, but no, hell no. In my opinion, right now, Daniel Jones probably is going to have a bigger payday right now than Justin Fields. Justin Fields has got to make the playoffs. He's got to have a winning record. He's not had that yet. Daniel Jones has.
Now, while I understand where you're coming from, I also want to point out Daniel Jones had one okay year, and that was last year. Every other year that he's had this year and even his previous years have been garbage. It was literally pretty much just his first year with Brian Daboll. And when it comes to Justin Fields, I mean, we can both agree he's been screwed from the get-go. In terms of a talent standpoint, what he can bring to the table, he brings more to the table than Daniel Jones. I will die on my hill on that one. Daniel Jones is so ungodly overrated. And he doesn't deserve the money that he's got. He's barely a top 20 quarterback in my opinion. Barely.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't put Justin Fields any much higher than that.
I wouldn't put him much higher. I'm not saying he's much higher, but he's higher than Daniel Jones. That's my point.
I don't know. I'm just saying wins and losses matter. That's all I'm saying. Wins and losses matter.
And that's a fair point. But I mean, anyway, back to the point of the quarterback, contract stuff. That's the issue that the Ravens are about to start facing, right? Is, they're going to face that issue where it's going to be tougher to get talent in because their quarterback contracts coming in. That's where teams really want to try to maximize getting wins on a quarterback who's got a low contract, a rookie deal, or whatever the case is, before they got to pay him. So, I mean, that's going to be the crappy part for the Ravens going forward. But when it comes to the Chiefs, I mean, you're right, man. They struggled so much this year. They lost 6 games. They lost the Lions. They lost to the Broncos, the Raiders, the Bills, the Packers. I don't remember the other one. But the Eagles. They lost the Eagles, and the Eagles went downhill after that. But they had so much struggle throughout the year. But then just the Chiefs being the Chiefs, man. Turning it on when it mattered. I mean, dude, Patrick Mahomes started 14 for 14 this game. Travis Kelce went easily over 10 catches, over 100 yards. Once I saw Patrick was 14 for 14 in the first half, I'm just like, all right, no matter what the Ravens do, this game's done. The Chiefs are on it right now. You know what I mean? The Chiefs are clicking. It's going to be tough for me to see the Ravens coming back in this. It is, and that's how it ultimately played out, which sucks for them. Especially sucks for all of us that wanted the Lions-Ravens Super Bowl. instead we get the rematch from 2019 or the 2019 season 2019 season. Which let's not forget a very important thing. Ricky, watch out about something, okay? When they played that Super Bowl, keep in mind it's the year 2020. So right after that, the world shut down. So I want to watch out. The world might shut down here in about a month. Just be prepared. We got the rematch that shut down the world. So, but the bottom line though, it's going to be a damn good game. I expect it to be an incredible game. Brock Purdy to me is so much damn better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I feel like this team can really get the job done in the air and on the ground. Now, granted, the Chiefs defense, they do a pretty damn good job against receivers. So it's going to be a lot of passes to Christian McCaffrey, a lot of passes out of the backfield. Debo Samuel, getting involved out of the backfield and stuff. But I mean, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Defensive battle for sure, especially with how good that Chiefs defense have been. Oh my God, defensive battle. Dude, it's going to be a damn good game. So that's going to be the main thing. But again, it's just the game that nobody wanted. It's the game that nobody wanted.
I think it was Detroit. I think as long as the Detroit Lions would have made it, no one would have cared as long as the Detroit Lions made it.
I think you're right, man. As long as they would have made it in, I think everyone collectively would have just cheered like, oh, God, yes, here we go. But it is what it is. Mostly everyone's upset just because it's like they didn't want to see a Taylor Swift Super Bowl is ultimately what it was. It's fine. It's okay. It's whatever.
So here we go. I got some stats pulled up for you. You ready for this?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. So, and just to be fair, I'm comparing their first 3 years because that's all Justin Fields had so far is 3 years. All right.
Well, Daniel Jones is going to win in this in a landslide, but
that's what I'm saying. He's got the stats to prove it. Justin Fields doesn't.
Yeah, but look at the team differences. Look at the team differences.
I don't care.
How can you not care when
what you put on the field?
When the Bears team last year was probably one of the worst teams to grace a field? Like the team that graced the field last year is in the same realm as Trevor Lawrence's rookie year, where everyone considers it a wash because of the coaching in Jacksonville. In this case, it's that we didn't have a team.
Here's where I'm going to disagree. Here's where I'm going to disagree. The three of them have something in common. They have losing records their first 3 years. Daniel Jones only has one winning season. That was last year.
Yep.
And barring injuries, they could have competed this year. And like I said, it's a dumpster fire up there. But I'm telling you, this is a fair comparison. It's a totally fair comparison. Of course, he's going to win in a landslide. Justin Fields is yet to have. This past season was his first season with 2,500 yards passing. The lowest that we've seen Daniel Jones have was his third year. We had 2,428 yards. In the first 3 years, this is Daniel Jones. Here we go. Daniel Jones right here. He had a 3-9 record his rookie season. Completed 61.9% of his passes for 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. The very next year, he had 29.43 for 11 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Not a great year at all. He was 5-9. Then he was 4-7 his third year with 2,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. And that, of course, he only played 11 games that season. The only 2,500-yard season that Justin Fields has had so far was this past year. The only difference is he played 13 games. So and that was this year, rookie year. He had a 58.9% completion rate for 1,870 yards. He had 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Last season he was he played 15 games. He was 3-12 with a 60% passing completion rate, 2,200 yards, and this year was his best season with 13 games, 5-8. With a 61.4% completion. So you're dealing with the quarterback who barely breaks 60%. So no, I'm still in way less passing yards. Yeah, you can give him the rushing yards because he does scramble a little bit. But I'm still telling you, like, if you look at QBR, you look at the rating, you look at whatever you want to, Daniel Jones is a better quarterback.
Look, I understand the stats, man, but you are not looking at the teams. That's the difference. You're not looking at the teams.
They're in the same
Justin
boat.
has been hurt every year. In
So was
2022
Daniel
Bears,
Jones.
2022 Bears was barely a functioning team. You could have put college players on that team immediately, and they probably would have been better than the team that we had. We dumped every contract that we could for the 2020 year to set us up for 2023. We had no receivers. 2021 was the dumpster fire of Matt Nagy and Bill Lazor as the coaching staff. The teams have been terrible.
And I'm
Look,
telling
listen,
you,
look,
so has the
listen.
Giants. I'm talking about their first 3 years. When I compared their first 3 years, I didn't say last year's stats. Trust me, you don't want to go to last year's stats.
I'm
'Cause
aware.
Then I've
Look,
got your
I
argument.
get it.
Tone
Listen,
I'm just saying.
I get it.
I'm just saying.
But I will
I'm
argue the
telling you,
Giants
in
teams
general-
have been better. I want to make one thing
No.
clear. I'm not
No.
trying to make the big argument that Justin's up here and Daniel's down here. I'm making the argument that Justin's here and Daniel's here. That's the argument I'm making in terms of their skill set, what they bring to the table. I understand stats say differently, but you can say that about all sorts of quarterbacks on who's the better. Because we're all going to say that Joe Montana is number 2 quarterback of all time. But I mean, there are going to be quarterbacks down at like the number 10, 12, 13, and 14 spot you'd put that have a lot more yards or TDs than him. We can argue stats all day, but it's like Justin brings more to the table than Danny Dimes. I'll die on my hill on that. The Bears teams have been so damn bad.
So have the Giants.
Not as
That's what I'm
bad
trying
as
to
the
tell you.
Bears.
Yes, they have.
Like we had
I'll pull up the
historically
records.
bad defense last year.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Historically
the Giants
bad
have too.
O-line.
It's the Giants. They're the freaking Giants. They're the least of the 2 teams around that area.
I didn't know this was going to turn into a
At
Justin
least-
Fields Danny Dimes debate. I'm here for it. That's the beauty of ATFS.
just
You don't know
telling
what's
you.
coming.
I'm just now. Let me say this clearly. I'm not saying Daniel Jones deserves the money that he deserves,
That's fair.
but I'm not paying Justin Fields Daniel Jones money. It's not happening. There's nothing. Listen, and I get it. I get it. But when you are an organization that is a dumpster fire plus, and for a quarterback in the NFL to get paid, they have to set a mark. They have to set their own mark. You've seen it from Tom Brady from the time he was in Tampa, not just Tampa. I'm talking about the New England Patriots at this point. From the time he was in New England, he set his mark, and it took some time. The same thing with Peyton Manning. The same thing with all these other great quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes was behind Alex Smith, and then Alex Smith got injured. That's when he got his start. What happened? He set his mark. Yes, they had a good team that surrounded him, but he made them better. When you are a quarterback in a dumpster fire, you have to be able to set your mark. He may do that next year if the Bears decide to keep him, which they should keep him. But I'm telling you right now, the Giants organization is just as bad as the Chicago Bears. Plain and simple. Take last year out of the equation. If you took last year out of the equation, their records are the same the last 5 years. I guarantee it.
We're going to have to agree to disagree, or we'll never move on.
Okay, we'll move on.
I will say
another time for another day.
I will say
go Daniel Jones.
I would never pay Daniel Jones the money they got paid. We definitely can agree on that. And in a normal world, I also, with that same argument, I would not pay Justin Fields that money. But due to the market of the quarterback money space, I would pay Justin Fields that money. Does that make any kind of sense? The way I'm trying to phrase it. It's like you don't want to pay him that, but it's the market. You know, like that's kind of where I'm at.
Here's the issue: you pay him that money, he doesn't develop any more than what he already has, and I'm not saying he's not going to, because trust me, I'm rooting for the kid. You pay him that money, you're gonna have another 5 to 10 long years.
Yep.
Of waiting for something else to happen.
That's the story of the Bears.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not paying him. I'm not paying him that kind of money right now.
Hey, keep in mind, the Bears don't even have a 4,000-yard passer. That's the story of the Bears, man.
With the market that it is set today, you could probably argue he's worth 15 to 20 million right now, as far as a quarterback goes, just because of how the market works.
That's backup levels.
But
basically.
as far as like paying him, What?
That's like backup levels, basically.
Backup levels don't get paid that much.
I mean, shit, Daniel
what's
Jones
his
getting
name?
paid like 40 million, 45 mil. What are you talking about?
He's not a backup. He's a starter.
I know, but that's 45 mil for a mid-range
And
QB.
But last year he did so well.
He was a mid-range QB last year. He wasn't top 10 last year.
I disagree.
He was not top
I
10 last
disagree.
year. I'll say
disagree.
top 20, sure. He was not top 10 last year. No shot. He was nowhere close to when we did our player rankings last year. We only did top 5s then, but he wasn't even in the conversation.
I'll give you that much, but even then, it's still he made the playoffs, and hey, he won a game in the playoffs. Gotta give him that much.
They won a game. It's a team game.
Oh, good God!
Also,
Almighty.
shout out
He
to
still
Tyler.
won.
Shout out to Tyler. Tyler's in the chat.
He still won.
Tyler says that Danny Dimes is a franchise QB, but he also says that Fields.
Thank you.
He says Fields is also a franchise QB, and Chicago needs to keep him. He also made sure to shout out the Brotherhoods. Shout out to the Brotherhood, baby. Go Hawaii.
I'm telling you right now, if they pay him the kind of quarterback money, then guess who else? Danny Dimes is going to be getting paid a little bit more. I'm just saying. I'm not paying him like I'm paying that they're paying Daniel Jones.
They ain't touching that
Not
contract.
happening.
They ain't touching that contract. Let's the pay
Not
cut.
happening.
Giants ain't touching that pay cut. That contract. They ain't touching it. They ain't paying him more. they ain't paying
not
him
right
more.
now. They're
Nah,
not.
They ain't touching that.
He wins a Super Bowl. You'll be saying otherwise.
He'll be winning Super Bowls in Madden. All right. Well, with all that, let's jump into mock drafts because obviously the Bears is kind of a hot topic in this whole thing with Justin Fields. Let's jump to mock drafts.
Before we move on, Daniel Jones was number 6 at QBR last year. So there you go.
Yeah, 1 rating. Okay, he's still not a top 10 QB.
Hey, I'm just
All
saying.
things
I'm
across
just saying.
the board,
hey,
baby.
QBR.
It's important.
QBR is an overall rating of a quarterback. That is a very, very good statistic.
It is, but there's a lot more to it.
He was number 6. I'm just saying.
I'd put him at my 15th best.
You said he went top 10.
15th.
15.
Also, I told Tyler, me and Tyler, we were talking about your Mountain West team, that you got to have a Mountain West team. Tyler thinks that you should be a fan of the Fresno State Bulldogs because at least they can stay competitive. They can stay competitive in the Mountain West. I thought you'd be a Lobo guy, but he's just like Lobo stinks. I'm just like that's true.
Yeah, no, I can't root for anything in Mexico. It's just not happening. Or New Mexico at that. I can't do that.
So Fresno State could
go
be
to
your
a different
team.
conference.
Could be your team,
I
Fresno
don't know
State.
about that.
So
they're about to be inconsistent the next couple of years. So
I mean,
they
fair.
can't pay all
Well,
that
what
money these
about
big
just going
schools are
with the
paying.
basic answer and going Boise State? You get a blue field.
I hate Boise State.
All right, fair enough.
I do want to visit. I do want to visit the Boise. I do want to visit Boise, Ohio. I do want to go to one of their games and see the blue field. I do want to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. There's a lot of cool ass fields out there. So anyway, all right, let's get to mock draft, Tom. Mock draft 1.0.
Let's do it.
Mock draft 1.0. Let's go. All right, so I don't remember if I said this on the show. I know I said it to you privately that I was going to do 2 mock drafts, one where we keep fields, one where we trade fields. I have now decided against that. And the reason why, regardless of personal feelings, I'm just telling you right now, we're going to get rid of Fields. We are drafting a QB. Like I'm telling you as a Bears fan, seeing what
time out.
Listen.
Stop.
Listen, I'm telling you.
You just argued with me
It's
5
not
minutes
my
ago
opinion.
that they need to pay
It's
Justin
not my opinion. Look, I'm going for accuracy on my mock drafts. Accuracy.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, as a
you.
Bears fan, I am 97% sure that we are drafting a QB and we are getting rid of Fields based on what I'm seeing. Okay, in the landscape. Like one good little example in terms of the landscape, the fact that Ben Johnson did not accept the Washington job is apparently because the word around the league is the Bears have told teams they are keeping the number 1 pick. I'm just telling. As much as I don't want this to happen,
mean they're going to get a quarterback.
If the Bears are keeping the number 1 pick, they're drafting Caleb Williams. I'm telling you right now. I don't want this to happen. Let me stress, This is not my personal desire and hope. I'm just telling you what I am hearing. This is the verdict that I'm hearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, for your future mocks, I would probably go ahead and lock Caleb in at 1. Even if me and you disagree with it, I'm just saying for accuracy, if we want to go for accuracy on mock drafts, that's what's gonna happen. So with that said, my number 1 pick for Chicago Bears will be Caleb Williams.
I think Chicago's gonna, I think Chicago's gonna surprise everyone
I would love to see
and
that.
surprise you, and you're gonna, and I cannot wait until the draft night when you're jumping up and down, you're celebrating, you're saying screw the rest of the draft. We got our guy, and your guy's Marvin Harrison Jr. I think
I
they're
love
still
it.
now. I could be wrong. Like you're the Bears guy. You're the Bears franchise guy. You are the guy, and I will. And I'll start doing research as well. But I think if they're going to, if they need to believe in Justin Fields, and I'm telling you, this is one of those situations. You've got to get this guy. You've got to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm telling you, he's going to be a beast in the NFL.
I agree.
I'm going to hope Chicago is going to do the unthinkable. They're going to shock the world. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Man, I really hope so. I keep replaying the whole dumb draft day movie in my head where the Browns traded up to 1, going to draft Bo Callahan, and then they end up drafting Vontae Mack anyway and running with the QB they already had. I'm praying we have that happen, and it's just a movie fairy tale. Because I want to see Justin with this coaching staff, man. This is one of the best coaching staffs assembled that the Bears have probably ever had. Like, this is one of the best offensive coaching staffs, legitimately. I'm not even joking. So I would love to see it, but man, just all signs that I've seen, all signs that I follow with all the Bears insiders and reporters up in Chicago, all tells me it's going to be Caleb Williams. So anyway, second pick for me, I'm going to go a little bit of a surprise here with Washington. I'm not going to go Drake May. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is getting a lot of hype right now for top 5, and honestly, I think depending on who they hire as HC, I think Jaden is going to potentially be that guy that's going to go to Washington and be their guy. It's going now that one. My opinion on that could change once they hire their head coach. But right now, I'm feeling Jaden Daniels to Washington.
So you and I agree on this, and here's the reason why, and this is this is why I think if Chicago passes up on Caleb Williams, this is the reason why I think Washington's going to pick Jaden Daniels up. I'm going to tell a small story real quick. Magic Johnson is a part owner in this Washington organization. I don't know how much power he has as far as draft goes or anything like that. But if there's any kind of say-so that he is facing a very, very similar situation than when he faced in L.A. I think it was the 28. I need to look it up, but I think it was the 2018 draft when they drafted Lonzo Ball. He wanted De'Aaron Fox. And he wanted De'Aaron Fox for many reasons. Number one, he was much more athletic than what Lonzo Ball was. He was a better ball handler. He was a little bit of a better shooter. But that was one of his reasons for leaving LA, was because he wanted to draft De'Aaron Fox. And LA basically said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go with the hot kid, who's the hometown kid. And they ended up trading Lonzo Ball away for a few picks and LeBron James. LeBron James ended up signing with them, but they ended up trading him a few years later when LeBron James showed up. So you're kind of in that situation right now where it's like, okay, who do I take here? Do I take this Caleb Williams kid who's a hot town, or he's not really a hometown hero for Washington or anything, but he's a big time Washington fan, whatever the case, grew up a Washington fan.
No, he's hometown kid. He's hometown kid. He's from DC.
Okay, so he is a hometown kid.
Yep.
So my mistake. So do you take this hometown kid that's really, really hyped up, or do you take a quarterback that's a lot more athletic, who has shown, in my opinion, more promise at LSU than what Caleb Williams has shown at USC? To me, it just makes more sense for them to take Jaden Daniels here than it does Caleb Williams.
I think if Caleb was there at 2, Washington's going to get him, but I do see your point. I do, because Jaden does have a lot of talent. While I don't think he was the Heisman winner of last year, I just don't, because his team was never in it, but he does have an extreme amount of talent. I think if Caleb's there, they would take Caleb, but I do see I think it's a very fair argument. I think the point is, I don't think Drake's going to be their guy. I just don't. I think it's going to be Caleb or Jaden. No. That's kind of where I'm at on it. Another thing to keep in mind, I saw a report before we started Apparently, Denver is interested in making some big moves and trying to get Caleb. I'm not sure how I feel about that one because that'd be a very big drop for the Bears from 1 to 12. We would need a lot. But you know what? I would also be fine with a lot, like multiple first, second round picks. I know we have no second round pick this year, and they really want to get, into the second round right now. But give me like some first, second round pick and give me Patrick Surtain. I know that seems like a high asking price, but you're also asking for a very high thing. You're asking for the number 1 draft pick with a league-wide considered generational talent. I'm not saying we say that. League-wide, though. This is the verdict amongst the clubs. So give me Patrick Surtain if you want to make that move, Denver. Ball's in your court. Fuck you, Shane. So next up, number 3 pick for New England. I will say this. I think even though we're under a new regime, it would not shock me if New England pulled a Bill Belichick and traded down. And honestly, a perfect candidate that I see as a trade up is Atlanta Falcons. I could see Atlanta Falcons trying to go 3 and getting their QB, whether it be Jaden or Drake. In this mock draft, I have the Patriots keeping the pick and drafting Drake May, but it would not shock me if the Patriots traded back with someone like Denver or Atlanta. It just wouldn't, okay? So that's something to look at. Even Tennessee.
I have the Patriots getting Caleb Williams.
Okay. That's horrifying. Anyway. 4th pick
I
for me.
know, right?
That's horrifying. Anyway. 4th pick for me, Arizona. You got to go with the surefire pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. Give Kyler Murray an incredible weapon.
Yeah, and if Marvin Harrison Jr. is here at 4, I will agree with that. I got the old tackle from Penn State. I cannot pronounce his name. I can't pronounce.
Just say Olu Fasho, like Tyler said in the chat. Olu Fasho.
All right, fine. Olu Fasho. I'm not even going to try.
Olu Fashino.
No disrespect.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. There's a lot of names in here I'm gonna butcher. One thing Tyler said in chat though. Tyler said Rick Washington picked hometown and fan in the first round in 2015 with Haskins. I don't see them taking Caleb. That's a good point. I forgot Haskins was from DC and a Washington fan growing up, so I forgot all about that. But I would say in terms of a talent standpoint, I consider Caleb more talented than Haskins. So that's the one difference here. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, 5th pick. This is going to be an interesting one, man. I went back and forth a lot on this pick. Jim Harbaugh's first pick as the Chargers head coach. I went with the sure pick that everyone's predicting, but man, it would not shock me if they went another route. It wouldn't shock me if they went corner here. It wouldn't shock me if they went edge rush, but I'm going tight end Brock Bowers, give Justin Herbert, another incredible weapon, another incredible tight end talent to come out of this draft.
Yeah, you and I have the same pick. I also have Brock Bowers.
All right, 6th pick, the Giants, another one where I went kind of back and forth. I could see them getting Joe Alt. They need to protect Daniel Jones, but I'm giving him a weapon. I'm giving him an explosive weapon. Giants, Malik Neighbors.
I like it. I've got Malik Neighbors going a lot later than this though. You're going to be shocked at this pick. Because you and I just had this argument. I've got the Giants taking Drake May.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
Yes, I think it's actually fairly simple. You got to get somebody to back him up. He's injury prone like crazy, and so and this will give them, their benefit of doubt. It's like, can Daniel Jones be that franchise quarterback they're paying him to be? And if not, they've got a backup waiting for him. And like I said, I don't think Drake May's the greatest thing in the entire world, but apparently the draft board thinks he is.
We're moving on. We don't have time for this. All right, Tennessee at 7. I've got them taking Joe Alt. I mean, they drafted Peter Skoronski last year, but they played him at guard all year, so they still need to replace Taylor Lewan a year later. So Joe Alt, best tackle in the draft.
I've also got them taking Joe Alt.
All right, Atlanta. So for me, this is where, and I think this could realistically happen on draft night. I think we may not see a defensive player taken until Atlanta. I really think top 10 is going to be riddled with offense, whether it be skill, QB, or offensive line. I've got Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama, going to Atlanta. Best edge rusher in the draft.
Did you peek at my stuff? Did you somehow, some way hack my computer and peek my stuff? That's like the third one. Well, besides the Drake Major, that's the third of the last 4 that you and I have had the exact same one. I also have them getting Dallas Turner.
All right, let's see if we get number 9 right. The Bears' second pick in the first round. I have them. They could go edge rush. They could. And, if we sign a big name wide receiver in free agency like a Calvin Ridley or Mike Evans, if they hit the market, then I don't see us getting a receiver here and going edge rush. But right now, I do have them getting a receiver. I have them drafting Romeo Odunze from Washington.
That's a very, very good pick, and I almost went that way. I did go the edge rush.
That's
I
fair.
got them getting. I can't pronounce it. His last name is Latu from UCLA.
Oh yeah. Latu. Latu is one of the better edge rushers this draft too. Him, Verse, and Turner, man. All 3 of them are the top of the top right now. 10th pick for the Jets. I have them trying to protect Aaron Rodgers. Olu Fasho, whatever.
Yeah, I probably should. I probably will change this, but I've got them getting Romeo Dones, the wide receiver from Washington.
Nothing wrong with that pick. All right, my 11th pick, Minnesota. I've got them drafting cornerback Terrion Arnold from Alabama.
I also have them getting Terrion Arnold from Alabama.
All right, 12th pick, Denver. Now, here's where I might be a little bit different because Jerzon Newton, not sure how to pronounce his name, sorry, defensive tackle from Illinois is considered the top of the top in terms of your interior D lineman this year. I got Denver pulling a little bit of a fastball in this one. I got him going Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle from Texas. Feels like a Sean Payton kind of guy. You know how Sean Payton loves his D linemen. Loves them. Drafted them all the time in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I like Murphy here.
But I think they can wait on him. I don't think they need to reach that far.
I think Murphy's going to end up going top 20, but it's later. I think it's he'll go in the 15 to 20 range.
I'd say I don't remember him going that high as far as some of the mock drafts I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. I do have them getting the first guy that you talked, Jerzon Newton from Illinois.
13th pick, Vegas. I have them getting Kool-Aid McKinstry. Kool-Aid.
I did too.
Yeah.
Just because it's the name.
Yeah.
Just because it's the name. It's Kool-Aid.
Yep. Saints. I have them getting Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois.
I have them getting J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama.
That's a good pick. I like that one. The Colts. I have them getting Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State.
I swear you hacked my computer. I swear you hacked my computer. You hacked my computer. You looked at my draft board. Let's see here. No, I'm kidding. Jared Verse. Yeah, I also have them get Jared Verse from Florida State.
All right, Seattle cornerback Nate Wiggins.
I have them also getting a cornerback, but I got them getting Cooper DeJean from Iowa.
That's my next pick to Jacksonville, baby, because I want to see him in Jacksonville. Let's go.
I do have a good pick for Jacksonville, but I have them getting an edge, Chop Robinson from Penn State.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Also, before I forget, because I totally forgot to mention it earlier, shout out to Minshew Mania making the Pro Bowl, baby. Let's go. Anyway, I saw a lot of people saying this has got some big Tyler Huntley energy. No. Gardner played all year.
Let's say this.
Gardner played all year, and the team was close to the playoffs.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Tyler
did.
Huntley was stupid.
You and I both know we were rooting for him.
Anyway, so yeah, Cooper DeJean for me for Jacksonville. I love Cooper DeJean so much. Love him so much. I cannot wait to see where this kid goes. For 18 for the Bengals, I have them getting Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo.
I have them getting a pick who I think is a perfect fit here, considering they love the LSU Tigers there in Cincinnati. I got them getting Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, another. Well, I did see Tyler Boyd seems to probably be leaving Cincy, so that makes sense. And T. Higgins is due up for a contract, so that could work. Yep. That could work. 19, the Rams' first round draft pick since 2016. Since they drafted.
Has it been that long?
Yes. Since they drafted Jared Goff with the first overall pick, they have not had a first-round draft pick. Insane.
Wow.
I know. So I think cornerback is a way they could go here. I have them getting offensive tackle, though, J.C. Latham, because most of the best corners have now been taken in my mock draft.
So I've also got them taking an O tackle, but I've got them taking your boy from Oregon State, Talise Fuega.
That's my next pick for the Dolphins.
I thought the did the Dolphins have the next pick?
Oh,
or
no,
is
no,
it,
no. Well, no, it's my next
Steelers?
pick for the Steelers. I misread the team. So, but he is my next pick before
Okay.
the Steelers.
I've got a Marius Mims going to the Steelers from Georgia.
So for Miami, I have Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle from Oklahoma.
I've got Cameron Kitchens, safety from Miami.
For next one, which would be the Eagles, I have them sticking to true Eagles capacity and drafting a Marius Mims from Georgia, continuing to make the Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Yeah, that could be a definitely possibility. Wouldn't surprise me. I've got them getting Nate Wiggins from Clemson.
Texans, I have them getting the edge rusher who has fallen way too far, and that is Latu, edge from UCLA.
I have them getting a receiver from Florida State, Keon Coleman.
You will, okay. Next up is what? The Cowboys? Yeah, so for the Cowboys, for me, I have them getting offensive tackle. Get you guys build some trenches some more with Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle from Arizona.
I could possibly see that, but I went a different direction. I got them getting Kingsley Sumateria from a BYU.
Okay, all right. For the Packers, I have them getting Graham Barton, offensive, interior offensive lineman from Duke. I think this is the kind of guy that fits that Packers offense.
Yeah, he would be a good fit. But I got them a guard. I got them Troy Fatanu. I can't pronounce the name.
Yeah, Troy Fatanu. Troy Fatanu is actually my next pick with Tampa Bay, which also shot to Baker Mayfield for making the Pro Bowl as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to root for Baker Mayfield so much. I really believe that he needs to get paid next year.
Yep.
But they also need to think about rebuilding at that position. I have them getting Michael Penix Jr.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. I will go ahead and say this now, unless something drastically changes. I do not have Penix Jr. anywhere near my first round, as well as Bo Nix. Neither of them are not first round grades for me.
I don't have Bo Nix in my first round.
Yeah, Penix. My issue with Penix I'm trying to look at it from accuracy, not my own personal opinion, My issue with Penix is injury history. He's only completed I think one season, and this was his past season, maybe two. I think both Washington seasons he actually finished the season, but every other season it's ended with injury. So I think with that and age, I think teams he'll be lucky to go round 3. As much as I hate that for him.
Really?
I would be shocked if he went round 2. I'd be very shocked if he went round 1. Very shocked. I will say, dude, some of these mock drafts, though, you know what they're giving me that I've seen? They are giving me massive, was it 2022 draft? Was that the one where Kenny Pickett got drafted, or was that 2021?
It's 2021.
Okay.
No, that was
I think it's
that was 2022.
okay.
Yeah, because he played. Yeah, he played it. Yeah, this year was the second. This past year was the second season.
Mock drafts right now are giving me massive 2022 vibes of quarterbacks, where everyone has everyone had Sam Howell and Malik Willis potentially going top 5. And obviously Kenny was taken at 20, and the next quarterback wasn't taken until the 3rd round with Desmond Ridder. I'm getting the same vibe because I've seen Bo Nix crack into the top 10. I've seen J.J. McCarthy go as high as Minnesota. I have seen Michael Penix Jr. in the first round, and these are 3 guys I do not see cracking the first round. Could that change with combine and pro days? Yes, but as of right now, I don't see it. I just don't see it. So next up was Arizona, their second pick. I have them getting Chop Robinson, edge from Penn State.
Oh, you had him falling a little bit more than I did. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see here. I have Leonard Taylor, defensive tackle out of Miami.
Ooh, okay. I hope he goes in the first round. I love that guy so much. I was so pumped when we recruited him.
I know it's a little bit of a reach, but they do need a tackle.
I think he can crack into the top to the first round. It's gonna be late first, but I think it's possible. But I got another guy that I think can crack into the first round with my next pick with the Buffalo Bills is Cameron Kitchens, safety from Miami from the U. I like this pick a lot. Build up that Buffalo secondary a little bit. I'm a big fan of this pick. I hope Buffalo's got a little bit of they basically got a second home down in Miami. So, with how they've been drafting.
Yeah, but I went a different direction because I
Tyler
do,
supports me.
at this point I'm not so sure if the Bills are going to. I'm not so sure if Stephon Diggs is going to stay with the Bills.
Man, that's a big question mark.
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest question mark, and so until then, I'm going to stick with wide receiver from LSU, Brian Thomas Jr.
Well, I would say the chances of Stephon staying are high, but not great. Now, the one that is, in my opinion, gone would be their number 2 guy, Gabe Davis. So your pick is totally great in that position because it's at least giving you a number 2 guy beside Diggs. It's just going to come down if Diggs really just says, all right, I'm fucking done here, trade me. Because he's already been signed. You know what I mean? He's already been signed. But yeah, like Tyler just said, I'd 99% support that. But he says that means Gabe Davis to be leaving. Tyler thinks they need to go DB. But he definitely likes that pick. Next up with the Lions, like I said earlier, this is the hardest team to predict with how they like to draft. So I went with a reach. I went with a guy that I think fits Dan Campbell so well. I went with Enos Rackstraw Jr., cornerback from Missouri. I love this kid. I love this pick for the brand new Lions. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Probably not. I've mispronounced multiple names.
So I just want to say I don't know if this pick is going to make you walk away like the Drake May pick was, but I think this one will get you though. I have them keeping former Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. I think they drafted QB here.
All right, so I'm going to hit the music, and we're going to get out of here for the day. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching and listening to the show. You guys are fantastic. But I think we're going to have to get out of here. I think I got some fish waiting for me inside, so I'm going to go in and eat. We'll follow up next week. No, but what are you thinking?
Hey, it's a terrible football show, and it's the first draft. Leave me alone. Think about it.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying. Now think about it. So think about it. You just said it yourself that this is the hardest one to do. Why is that? Because we don't know what they're gonna do. I just thought, why not keep the home state hero? He just won a national championship at Michigan. He's a fairly good quarterback. Why not draft a quarterback to learn underneath Jared Goff? He can't play forever.
I think Jared Goff has legitimately another solid 6 years in his body, dude.
You're probably right, but guess what? How long did Jordan Love wait behind Aaron Rodgers?
4, 3.
So I mean, yeah, that's fair. I'm not saying he's gonna take a starting spot, but I'm just saying right now at this pick.
I mean,
think about it.
What
else?
Green Bay's done it twice, so I guess I can't critique it.
Is there anything? Right? Is there any position right now that you just got to say, man, they're desperate to get one of those? No, because they're basically already set. I mean, yeah, it would help to beef up the defensive line a little bit because they did have a little bit of trouble against San Francisco, punching in, and pressuring what's his name, Brock Purdy, and Purdy was able to beat them. I mean, they couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey very well, but they still did decent on. But I'm just saying, in general, there's nothing desperate right now about the Detroit Lions. It's all about building the future for them right now because the present time they're fine right now. They just need to start building a little bit on the future on the back end. Why not get a quarterback that could possibly do wonders with them? I'm not saying that I'm going to keep him there, but I'm just saying I got to the point like you were, and I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Here's J.J. McCarthy.
Well, out of all the quarterbacks that would be available at that spot, J.J. would be the best pick from an age standpoint. Because, I really think you can get if you wanted to treat it like the Green Bay situation and have the guy set for 3 years, like they did with Aaron, like they did with Jordan, both of those seem to work out fine. Then you don't want to get a guy like Bo Nix who's already 24 or Penix Jr. who's already 25. You know what I mean? By the time they'd be to play, they'd be 28 years old.
Your opinion, do you think Bo Nix cracks a second or third round?
Yes, 100%. I think it'll be more third round.
See, I'm leaning more towards second, but yeah, a third round is probably going to be the best fit.
Honestly,
Then again, I said I wouldn't draft a quarterback in the first round last year. And
here's my
look what they did.
prediction on the QBs. Out of all like the big name QBs, the big three, and then the next three being JJ, Bo, and Michael. Michael's gonna be the last one to get drafted.
We'll see. You're probably right. You're probably right.
Just because of the injury thing. That's the only reason. He'll get drafted. I saw someone talk about where it's possible he could go undrafted. I don't think that's going to happen. He will get drafted, but I think it could be a day 3. I think he could be a day 3 draft. So like 4 to 7. So we'll see.
Watch Jerry Jones draft him. Have 4 quarterbacks on the roster.
All right, let's finish up real quick so we can get you on your way. Next up, we got Baltimore at 30. I have them getting Kamari Laster, cornerback from Georgia.
And I believe that's 31, isn't it? Is that pick 31?
No, that'd be 30.
I have 31 on my list.
Weird.
Oh, wait, then again, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, because I had them 31, then I had the Chiefs 32.
Weird. Hey, what'd you get for Baltimore?
Okay, yeah. Then again, when I did my draft, this was last week. So yeah, this was last
okay.
week. All right. Kamari Laster. So I had Kamari Laster going here.
Okay. So for the 31st pick, so I used PFF, which I guess they've made their thing free again. So shout out to that, the greedy bastards last year.
I know what happened. Kansas City. I had Kansas City at 29 last week. Whenever I did mine last week.
Okay.
So
yeah.
my 31 was San Francisco.
Oh, okay. All right.
So my 29 was the Kansas City Chiefs. Your 29 was the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So that's where it got picked. Okay, so I'll reveal my pick here in a minute. Go ahead.
So for me, I had 31. Kansas City was the pick, and that's just based on how PFF had it. I'm gonna be honest. Spoiler for next week, I have Kansas City winning the Super Bowl, so they'd be the 32nd pick. But either way, so Kansas City here at 31. I have them beefing up the receiving core. You got to throw it to someone else besides Travis Kelce. Kadarius Toney is a shit show. Sky Moore wasn't bad in his rookie year, but he's still a rookie. I have them getting a guy that can maybe replace what Tyreek Hill was. I have them getting Troy Franklin from Oregon.
Ooh, I forgot about him. Oh, that's a good pick. That's a really, really good pick. I've got them going to Donnie Mitchell at a wide receiver out of Texas.
I had them looking at Xavier Worthy as well. I think one of the Texas receivers could slip into the first round, if not both.
It's gonna be good regardless. But yeah, so that means my 32nd pick would have been the Ravens, who actually got moved up. So that's what it is. Okay.
Yep. So for me, my 32nd pick was San Fran. I have been getting Braylon Trice, edge rush from Washington. Keep beefing up the defense, baby.
Yeah, and I would have to redo this whole entire thing again because, like I said, I did mine like last week. So this was the order that gave me. This is definitely going to change because of the fact is that if there's a better player than Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out of Clemson, I think the Ravens go after that player instead. But we'll see.
I like Trotter a lot. That's a guy I could see being a Dan Campbell guy. They already got their linebacker, though.
Hey, could be.
They got Jack Campbell already. So, it wouldn't shock me if Dan Campbell really tried to get Cooper DeJean, man. Just really make it those Iowa roots. You know what I mean? Already got Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta last year. Go trade up, get Cooper DeJean, baby. I'd love to see Cooper in Detroit, man. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome, man. That's anyone who wears an Iowa Hawkeye uniform is a Dan Campbell guy.
Yep.
So anyway, there's our 1.0s. We'll do 2.0s sometime after the Super Bowl. So, which actually reminds me, let's go over schedule for the show for the Super Bowl and everything. So next week, ATFS will be on for Tuesday like we have been normally in the past. Then the week after that, we will actually be on for Thursday, the 15th, and that will be our final episode for Season 3 of ATFS. We will plan to take the last 2 weeks off of February, and we will kick back off March 5th on Tuesday, and we will run Tuesdays in March for Season 4 of ATFS. We're going to have a new coat of paint. It's going to be great. Can't wait. So that's our upcoming schedule. So shout out to that. Make sure to be here. We'll probably do some more mock drafts. I would say probably starting on Season 4. We'll just do the one mock draft for season 3 to end off. I'd probably say sometime in March we'll probably be having player rankings as well. We did that last year where we put our top 5 players per certain positions and stuff. So we'll look forward to that. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap things up. I know you got somewhere to be. I have fish waiting for me inside, and I am hungry as shit. So I'm going to play the music. Ricky, any last thoughts you want to say before you get out of here?
Y'all have a good week. Enjoy the Pro Bowl.
It's going to be fun. Shout out to Gardner Minshew, baby. Minshew Mania running wild in Orlando. Love to see it. And Baker Mayfield. Let's go, baby. All right, so if you made it all the way to the end, we appreciate the absolute hell out of you. Make sure to come back next week, and then, like I said, week after that, we'll be on for Thursday, and then it's into season 3, man. It's been a hell of a year, been a hell of a football year, hell of a season for ATFS, and I'm so pumped up for season 4. Got a new coat of paint coming, got some funny ideas, some cool ideas to help enhance the show a little bit. But yeah, if you made it all the way in, we appreciate the absolute hell out of you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, follow the podcast if you're listening to the audio version. Do all the things that are down in the description below. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.